Hey, good morning, class. Welcome to Introductory to Quantum Mechanics. I hope you're all in the right place. No, I'm just kidding. You're hopefully here for lifespan development. I know nothing about quantum mechanics. I just was hoping maybe one of you might have a small heart attack when you heard that. Oh my God, I'm in the wrong class. Not sure how that would work in an online class setting, but it was just a joke I couldn't resist. So anyways, this is our class. Welcome, Lifespan Development. For many of you, this might be the second course in our psychology program you've taken. Some of you might be, maybe your third, but a lot of students take intro first, obviously, and then take a lifespan course. I think many of you might be involved in the nursing program. I think this might be a required course or one of the courses you can choose to take for the nursing program. That seems to have been my experience in the past when I've taught this course. I've taught this course twice now for OSU OKC, and the vast majority of my students are nursing majors. So, if you're not a nursing major, I apologize for, if I lumped you into the wrong major. But anyways, everybody, welcome. We have a pretty big class, and it's an online class, but we've got a lot of students. I'm really excited about this because I think we're going to have a lot of very interesting discussions with a lot of diverse viewpoints, and I think that's one of the benefits of both online and both of larger classes is that you get more opportunities to interact with each other via discussion, and which I'll talk about in a moment. And you also get a lot of different viewpoints, which is amazing. We need that. We need to get outside of the viewpoints we're accustomed to hearing. So anyways, so welcome. Typically what I will do each week is I will record a video similar to this that will outline sort of the expectations week to week, go over what's expected, what's due, assignments, etc., things like that. So this video for week one will probably be the longest video I record just because I'm going to go over a lot of things today, including the materials. I just sent out a bunch of materials to you, including the syllabus, the schedule, and a couple of other important documents that I think you will need for this course in order to be successful. So if you've already received that email and you're watching this video, feel free to bring those up as I go along. Otherwise, I'm going to kind of go through them here on my desktop. You can't necessarily see what I'm seeing, but all of this stuff is also in D2L under week one. So again, even if you didn't get the email, you can jump on D2L and follow along that way. We will be using D2L for everything, for our discussions, our writing assignment, and all of our exams. So you will not have to come on campus to take exams, to do anything like that. Everything will take place through D2L. And I can't stress this enough. You need to have access to your OSU OKC email address, whether that's on your computer or laptop or a smartphone or tablet. You would be surprised. I've had a lot of students over the last couple of years who didn't have access to their email address, and even in an online class setting, I thought that was pretty strange. So I'm trying to be more proactive to encourage you to get that. I've also posted a link to where you can, a link to how you can find out how to put your D2L, your email on your phone or your tablet, depending on what kind of device you use. So please utilize those resources. So very briefly, I'm going to introduce myself. My name is John Chansey. I've been teaching at OSU OKC for a couple of years now. This is my second summer to teach classes. I typically teach introductory psychology and lifespan development, I'm also a doctoral student at the University of Oklahoma. I've finished up my second year here recently. I'm studying educational psychology, which is a subdivision of psychology, the branch of psychology interested in how humans and other organisms learn, sort of from a theoretical standpoint. A lot of my research is about misconceptions in learning and how people reach the correct conception. It's a process known as conceptual change. I study also mindfulness, typically associated with like meditation. That's a big part of my research interests. I've in the past I've also taught high school psychology. I was a high school teacher for 3 years before coming to OSU OKC and before beginning my PhD program. I have a master's in secondary education from the University of Central Oklahoma, and I studied psychology for my bachelor's degree at the University of Oklahoma. So I have a pretty broad background in psychology in general, mostly teaching as well. So I think I'm pretty well suited for this course. I've recently taught at OU as well. I taught a course that involved a lot of elements of lifespan development. So this is right up my alley. One of my favorite topics within psychology is lifespan. And I hope maybe after taking this course, even if it is a required course for you, maybe you'll get a deeper appreciation for the topic. To be honest, when I first got into college, 10, 12 years ago, however long it was, seems like a while ago, I was a film major until I took a lifespan development course, and then I switched my major to psychology. And no, I don't expect you to be so blown away by this course that you change your major, but I just hope that you enjoy it even half as much as I did. I just think it's a really interesting course because, really, I mean, it's the study of change. It's how we all change from birth to death. We undergo a lot of change. I mean, literally, our bodies are not the same bodies that we were born with. We don't have the same, we don't think the same, we don't act the same, as we did in the past. I mean, we're constantly changing and growing, hopefully. So I think it's pretty cool to see that process. We're going to go through that entire process from pre-birth, prenatal development, all the way to death. So unfortunately, when we talk about life, we kind of have to talk about death. None of us are going to make it out of this life alive. So it is important to discuss death as well. So anyways, that's like a nice brief overview of myself and also a brief overview of the course. It is an 8-week course, and I'll be honest with you, we are going to hit the ground running. So I want to briefly go over the syllabus that you can find on D2L. Our syllabus I'm pulling up right now. It's being kind of slow. There it goes. So again, my name is John Chansey. You can reach me via email at john.b.chansey@oakstate.edu if need be. I don't really have an office either. So, if you would like to contact, if you'd like to talk, I have Skype. We can set up an appointment. Just need to email me and reach out to me. But email is the primary method of communication. You'll need a copy of our text, which is Lifespan Development by Santrock. You can get the 16th edition. To be honest, the 15th edition will probably work just fine as well. If you can find it, it might be cheaper. But I'm assuming our school textbook distributor only has the 16th edition, so keep that in mind. The PowerPoints that I've posted will come out of the 16th edition. The exams are based on, I believe, the 16th edition as well. So take a look at that. I'm not going to go over all the learning outcomes for this course, but just know, we've got quite a few learning objectives that I'll discuss week to week. This course really is just focusing on the lifespan perspective, prenatal development, infancy, early childhood, middle, late childhood, adolescence, those fun teenage years, early adulthood, middle adulthood, late adulthood. Then we'll get into sort of death and dying and grieving and all that sad/fun stuff. For assignments, we have 5 exams that are worth 100 points each. We have 8 weeks in the schedule, so you're going to have an exam roughly almost every other week. I mean, this class, I hate to say this class, sometime, I'm not saying it's not meant for an 8-week class, but you're going to be kind of on the go very quickly in this course. I mean, we're always going to have something to do with this course, so there won't be a lot of downtime over the next 8 weeks. So you need to sort of mentally prepare yourself that and carve out time in your week that you're going to be able to work on this course. I understand that you probably have other things in your life, like maybe children or loved ones or a social life or a job or another class, but this class, I'm not going to be, I'll be frank with you, it will take some time. It's very fast paced, and it's going to require a lot of reading, and there will be discussion posts every week, so it's something you'll have to be active with each week. So again, there will be a discussion post every week. Discussion posts are worth 15 points apiece. You'll obtain 5 points for your original post, 5 points for your per required peer responses. You need to respond to 2 of your peers in a timely manner. I've also posted the guidelines for our discussion posts. Please read through that document. But I would like for your initial post to be in by Wednesday, and I would like for your peer responses by Friday in order to facilitate a timely discussion. So I'll probably be pretty lenient this first week, but after that, my expectations are going to be pretty high. I expect that you'll have read the documents, and if you have questions, I'll expect that you ask those questions to me. So we do have 1 essay in this course. It'll be a case study where you'll be given a scenario, and you'll have to base your response on the readings and the things that you've learned in the course. And I will post that as once we get closer. It's probably not due for a few more weeks, but just know that you do have 1 essay writing assignment. So in totality, you have 5 exams plus 1 writing assignment plus 8 discussion posts. So that's kind of the breakdown of the grades. We have 670 points total. To get an A, you would need to get 90% of those points, of course, and each grade breaks down accordingly. But, as far as the discussion posts are concerned, since that's going to be the primary ways in which we interact with each other, I do have pretty high standards. When you're responding to your peers, I don't want to see just like, oh, hey, good post, thanks for sharing, and that's it. I'd like for you to interact and actually have a discussion, ask for clarification, ask for explanations, examples, evidence, advice, maybe make inferences, evaluate the situation maybe from your perspective, give some examples or evidence, give meaningful comments. These need to be meaningful. If you want to earn your points in a discussion post, they need to be meaningful and significant comments. But that's kind of it as far as the syllabus is concerned. I really don't want to go over the entire thing since I know that you can read and it's been sent to you. It's on D2L, so I'm going to leave the rest of that for you. So check out the syllabus. Again, I can't emphasize this enough. You need to have access to your email on your phone, your tablet, your computer, some way in which we can communicate with each other. I'm going to be sending these videos via email. I'm going to be sending out materials via email. So if you don't get those materials, that is on you. I'm telling you this now. You need to be responsible for that. So next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up the schedule, which you can see on D2L. Our schedule is broken down week by week for 8 weeks. It is subject to change depending on if something happens. In an online course, I don't think anything like that will happen. There shouldn't be any changes to the schedule, but you never know. This week, again, we are hitting the ground running. This week, you will need to read the first 3 chapters of our text. Chapter 1 is just an introduction about what lifespan development is, kind of getting into the lifespan development perspective, sort of thinking broadly about this perspective of change over the lifespan, biological, cognitive, behavioral, emotional, etc., all of the above. Everything's changing. Then you're going to get into chapter 2, which is kind of in some more of the biology behind development, getting into heredity, getting into biology. Some of this will be, a lot of these, maybe these first 2 chapters might be review for some of you. A lot of review maybe from introductory psychology, but it's really not until chapter 3 that I think we're going to dive into some material that might be less familiar to you. And that's when we're getting into our first stage of development, chapter 3, which is prenatal development and birth. So all the stuff that's happening before the child is even born. I know there's a lot of philosophical and moral and religious debates about, when does life begin? Does it begin at conception? Does it begin at birth, et cetera, et cetera? Well, for this course, development begins at conception. I mean, when the child is beginning to form in utero, when the child is beginning to develop inside of their mother's womb, that's development. That's development is taking place. I mean, you can debate all you want about whether that's life or whatever. I mean, I'm not here to talk about that, but I think that for our course, we are starting before the child is even born. So, and each week we're going to kind of go through different stages. So next week we're going to look at infancy. The week after that, we're going to jump into childhood, and until we get all the way to death. So over the course of 8 weeks, we are covering the entire lifespan. So just a heads up. I have posted our first discussion. You will find that under the discussions under D2L, and it's really about chapter 1. The focus is on chapter 1, and I want you to think about how, the difference between you and your parents, and think about this topic of the cohort effect that you're going to read about in chapter 1. So I won't, for the sake of time, I'm not going to go over everything now, but please read that discussion post, and respond to that. Your initial post is due by Wednesday. Your peer responses are due by Friday. I also wanted to give you a heads up that your first exam will be posted next week. It'll cover chapters 1 through 4. So even more important that you get a hold of the textbook if you don't already have one. And it's even more important that you read the textbook. You will not be successful in this course if you do not read the textbook. This course requires that you be self-sufficient and be willing to, you're going to have to, I'm not going to be holding your hand the whole way. A lot of the learning is going to be dictated by you, the learners. So I hope it's very independent. I don't mind if you use each other as resources, but a lot of the legwork is going to be on you. I'm going to give you the guidance, and I'll be here to answer questions that you may have. But, this class is for people who are self-motivated, to be honest. If you are self-motivated, you're going to be very successful. If you're struggling with that, that's okay, but it's time to start practicing those skills to be successful. I know every single person who enrolled in this course can be successful in this course. Otherwise, you wouldn't have made it here. You wouldn't be here. So I trust that you all can be successful. I'm very excited about this course and getting this course started. Feel free to email me if you have any questions after watching this video and reading over the materials. Feel free to email me if you have questions about the first discussion or the first exam, or as you're reading a chapter, if you come across anything that's confusing, email me or post it on their discussion post. That's okay as well. Maybe if I don't answer it right away, maybe one of your peers can answer it. Feel free to answer each other's question. I may be the instructor, but this is a learning community that involves all of us. So let's use each other as resources. Let's help each other out. Let's get into the communal learning. We are all in this together. So I'm very excited to get started with you folks. The first discussion, I would also like for you to include a picture of yourself, ideally something recent, just so we can, there's a face, we can put faces to the names, and it's not just some anonymous person typing on a keyboard, I'll post some pictures too. I recently got back from Ireland and London. I traveled overseas with my girlfriend to celebrate her master's graduation from UCO, so I'll post some pictures of that. It was a lot of fun. Had a great time. It was glad to be back and ready to hit the ground running with you folks. But I think I'm going to leave it there. I think I've covered everything for week 1. Just a heads up, read the materials I've sent you, read over the syllabus and read over the schedule. You need your textbook. So once you get it, please start reading. This week you need to read chapters 1 through 3. I know that's a lot of reading, but if you break it up, maybe 1 chapter a day, I think that's totally manageable, or half a chapter a day. It's totally manageable. This is the textbook. This is a copy of the textbook. I should have shown you the Sandrock. This is the 16th edition. Again, if you can find the 15th, cool. That should work too, but I think our textbook distributor at OSU OKC sells this version. So obtain a copy as soon as possible. If you should have had it already, if you don't have it already by now, to be honest, you are behind the gun. I don't mean to say that to provoke anxiety, but just a heads up. Also, please put OSU OKC's email on your phone or on your tablet or whatever. Get it on there somehow, but you need access to that. And then finally, our first discussion is up. I'm really looking forward to reading your responses and your introductions, but please take a look at that. Your initial post is due by Wednesday, and your peer responses are due by Friday. So feel free to introduce yourselves to each other, share pictures, share memories, and then answer the prompt. So I think that's about it. Again, this will be the longest video I record, most likely, because I won't be going over the syllabus and things like that in the other videos. So, all right. I'm going to end it here. I'm very excited to get this started. It's a beautiful Sunday morning, so I'm going to cut it short so maybe you can enjoy your Sunday morning, and so can I. I still have work to do after this, but otherwise, I'll see you all next week, and I'll very much looking forward to reading your first discussion posts. All right, take care, folks.